โ Alright, I'm up. These guys woke me up finally. Morning, folks. Welcome to our Breakfast with Chaos edition of the FF1 PSP tournament. I hope you'll forgive me for joining in progress. Oh good, we skipped the we skipped the boring half. Let's go. Okay, so let me catch up with what's going on here. Double says this was a world record pace. I just don't believe him. Winning? No, he's not winning right now. Muttski is just behind right now, but I did see he was in the lead. So that's impressive in itself. Okay. Double's getting the canoe here. Muttski's just getting some scorpions. Don't you hate that? You're right, I am ruining the music. I'm going back to bed. This game is good music. Okay. So I'm going to focus less on the specifics on this run, because I'll be doing the follow-up match after this one's over. Hopefully you guys are going to be sticking around for that as well. Right now I'll just be focusing on who's in what position and what they can do to catch up here. So it looks like Double's in the lead at the moment because he's the first one to get back to his boat after defeating Lich and picking up a canoe. Mutt's doing the glitch now in Crescent. It's these same schmucks that are running next. This all-Canadian matchup between Double and the honorary Canadian Muttski. He's already basically a Canadian anyway. Okay. So Double's making his way on over the river section. Ow. Little warning when you jump on me, cat. Okay. I mean, I think he grew up in Pennsylvania, and he already sounds like an honorary Canadian, so I think he's Canadian at this point. Okay, Double's into the ice cave here, so this... I hope he took a safety save, because this is probably one of the most dangerous dungeons in the entire run. FF9. Well, that's a good opening for me to go back to bed, then. Alright, so Double makes his way to Cabin of Ice B2 here. Muttski is just working his way along. Morning, Mutt. Keep going. Yeah, guys, I hope you guys will stick around for an FF9 rando race here on Speed Gaming, because I'm sure they agreed to that with no warning. Mutt's almost into the ice cave now. Double is still working his way through. Taking a safety save here. Smart play. We have this incredibly overpowered gear here, but it doesn't stop us from getting ambushed and killed here. And the true thing on Double's stream is exact. Paralysis is best girl. Mutt getting a mind flare here. Looks like that's not super dangerous. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Looking at the wrong thing. Mutt's farther ahead than that. Just a little bit. Alright, both getting groups of undead here. Trying to run away. Both of them getting that one. So they don't want to see those groups of undead because if they can be a little problematic, especially if they get ambushed by them. These guys can paralyze them. And Double's getting the Pisca Demons here, so this is an unrunnable formation that he sees. So anytime he runs into this as a random encounter, he's going to have to stop and kill it. The unrunnables are basically identical. I think they've been changed slightly in this version. Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are encounters with like Ice Gigas in this version that are not you cannot run from, but I believe that they're partially runnable in the NES version from what I've seen. I'm not sure if there's anything else that's doing it. I don't particularly run the NES version myself, although I am a watcher. I've used to watch runs of that in the past. Oh, Mutt getting Dark Wizards. He better get away from this one. This is going to be nasty if he doesn't. That could be a real problem. Oh, he got really lucky here, and they did not use Faraga. That could easily have been a wipe, but luckily for him, that also set up his party correctly for the grind coming up here. So a huge portion of the early portion of this run up to this point has been specifically not healing the melee characters to try to facilitate a short experience grinding session here against the Evil Eye. So they're going to be walking back and forth on the tile in front of the Levistone here to pick up, or to force a fight with Evil Eye, and by killing off their 2 melee characters, the remaining characters get double the experience after each combat. They want to do this because they want to be able to get their mages up to level 18 by the time they exit this dungeon, so that by the time they're ready to buy spells later in the run, their mages will be level 19. They need them to be level 19 and class changed in order to be able to purchase and then use all of the remaining spells that they will want for this run. So Kev reaches the grind spot here, and that Dark Wizard fight actually conveniently set him up for this. So they're just going to be grinding here for about a minute or two. This is the only section of the run where they'll really be grinding in any planned capacity, as the gear that we can pick up from the equipment glitch otherwise completely negates the necessity of us having to grind throughout the run. Double's all set here, and he's with the grinded, he's moving on. Mutt is still going. We get a preemptive from Dark Wizards. Lucky for Double, that's pretty good. If he sees a preemptive, he's able to run away on his first try. One more group of Pisco Demons here for Double. So he intentionally left a Sage's Staff on his Black Mage so that the Mage would have enough intelligence when using Thundara to be able to take out Pisco Demons. He uses Thundara and not Fyra because they are resistant to Fyra and would take less damage. Mutt should be almost all set right around here. Double's out of the cave, and he's making his way over to go pick up the airship now, using the Livistone we just picked up. Ooh, a little ambush here from Mutt. He rezzed his thief and then forgot to kind of heal him, so the thief's going to take another dirt nap here. Heal everybody up. Opts not to heal the thief yet again, so the thief's probably going to take another dirt nap pretty soon. Double getting a group of Sahagin and Big Eyes. That would have been a lot more of a problem earlier in the run, but with the agility gear we've now picked up by this point in the run, it's not really as much of an issue to run from. Getting one more group. This may very well kill the thief again. except he's able to dodge like a pro right here. And Double's all sent. He's going to pick up his airship here. Okay. Mutt's on his way out and trying to catch up. He's probably about a minute or two behind Double right now, because he's got to make this little trek over the river and then sail over to the desert where Double just picked up the airship. So Double's on his way to the Citadel of Trials. He's going to land far to the east of it and then have to walk, because that's unfortunately the closest landing spot on the world map for the airship. And Mutt is sailing his way over. Alright, Double enters the Citadel here. Mutt's got his airship. Mutt's going to make his way over now to the same location to park his ship and take his way in. Okay, Double immediately getting a group of Minotaur zombies here. I'm not sure if fire is going to be enough to kill these Minotaur zombies right off the bat. Ooh, looks like they are just enough, so maybe that's a worthwhile strategy I should look into in the future. Putting a Sage of Staff on my mage at this point. Usually I favor the Lust Dagger here, as I want my characters to take their turns and using the extra agility that they have. But I often usually have to stop and melee them as well, because I don't have enough intelligence to take them out. Okay. Double getting a rare 1 in 64 dragon zombie this early in the shrine. Normally you see them, or a forced fight on the 3rd floor, but you might see them as a random encounter here. These Rakshasas are just going to waste his time with attacking and casting fire, giving Mutt a chance to catch up. So Mutt enters the Citadel, 1 floor back. He's got to talk to this NPC here, or he can't use the teleporter on the throne that's in the other room. And they're going to both make their way through this teleporter maze here. So this is a pretty simple concept, at least. I mean, there's 1 or 2 teleporters in each of these rooms, and they have to step on the correct one to advance to the next room. If they step on the wrong one, it ports them back to the start of the floor. They don't want to do that. Mutt continuing. They're both continuing on. Mutt's closing the gap because Double's getting these encounters. Another ambush on Double side. This might be... Mutt tries to run away from a Minotaur zombie fight, which he cannot do. So if he tries to run from that, his characters are just going to fail, like you saw there with the Black Mage, and he's not going to receive any feedback that is not a runnable fight. But otherwise, he's doing okay. Double reaches this room on the 3rd floor with nightmares. As soon as you step in here, there's a forced encounter with them. Typically quicker to just kill them at this point, as they can be somewhat problematic to run from, in spite of the fact that we have some powerful gear. And Mutt enters the same area, so Double stopped and got the healing rod from that chest as well. Double gets a preemptive here, but he's going to opt to fight this just to make sure he's got enough experience. And both of them have put a Lordly Robes. Using the healing staff, they've glitched a copy of the Lordly Robes onto the shield slot of their Black Mage. This raises his intelligence by, I believe, 20 additional points. So that should give him the oomph he needs to be able to kill any unrunnable groups from this point on with the spells that he has. They're both on the same floor here, so this is a pretty close match right now. Double picks up the Rat's Tail at the end of the floor. Muttski's only 2 corridors away right now. Oh, this was the forced dragon zombie fight. So here comes Mutt. gets the rat's tail. He's like 3 tiles behind right now. Oh, Double's got more than enough experience. His mages are level 20, so he over-leveled technically. Not likely to be a huge issue, though. And here we go with another, looks like an ambush on Double side, and that might just be enough for Mutt to take a quick lead. Looks like Mutt is just barely in the lead right here. And now they're literally tile for tile. Double not risking a sandworm. They can actually cast Earthquake and kill our party members if we're unlucky. Another 2 sandworms, oh my goodness. They are runnable, but if you fail to run from them, that can basically potentially be a game over. So it's smarter of them to just do that. Okay, Mutt is the first one to land on the Dragon Caves. Double right behind him. They're both going to just take a quick jaunt in here, talk to Bahamut, and get their class change. So I hope you guys like long corridors. This is your place if that's the case. Yeah, there's maybe 2 seconds between them on the restream right now. Oh, but their timers are unsynced too on this restream. So Mutt is... they actually might very well be tied. Because there's a couple seconds ahead on the restream from Mutt. They might very well be tied right now. So they have to make their way next over to the Citadel here. I'm sorry, the Caravan, and pick up a bottle, the Fairies bottle here, and then a new menu opens up here after you've purchased the Fairies bottle that contains a bunch of combat tonics you can use to raise your character's stats in combat. Specifically, we're going to be picking up Giant's tonics. This is an item they can use in combat to raise their character's max HP by 200. It's going to be an item they might need for the final boss, depending on the HP growths of their Thief and Black Mage specifically over the course of the run. They want to try to get their Thief to have over 300 HP just to be able to be safe from Chaos's most powerful attacks. And then the Black Mage, ideally you probably want the Black Mage to have, at the very least, about 250. Maybe a little bit more. So I haven't really been paying attention to their HP growth to this point, but I did start catching up late on this one. And once again, they're still really close. So both of them take the Fairies bottle here to Gaia. It unleashes this fairy who flies to the back, this little spring in the back of the town. And once she, as a reward for freeing her, she dives in and gives us this key item, Oxy Ale, which is needed to proceed through the Sunken Shrine that's coming up later in the run. But first, they're going to detour over here to Mount Gulg. So they're going to take a quick jaunt here through Gulg. There's 5 floors here. They have to go through 2 different sections on 3rd and 4th basements here. And you'll notice they're probably not going to be healing until a certain point. They may heal their characters as a safety. It's entirely possible to get through this entire dungeon without getting any encounters, and they're going to be trying to walk on these lava tiles as much as possible, because while that damages their characters, there's no risk of random encounters while stepping on these lava tiles. Mutt is about 1 floor ahead right now. And is on the second last floor. Double's now on the same floor here. So Mutt's playing a little risky here. But when he almost got away with it. Oh geez, there's a red dragon. He's gonna make the smart play and just kill it, it looks like. That is a rare one though. That's a smart play on Mutt's. I think that is runnable, but it can be very dangerous if he fails to run from it. So they're both right here. And Double took advantage of that and took a quick lead here, and they're both just going to resurrect the warrior here now that they're done setting up the earlier grind. So they want everyone else to be able to get experience from this point on. And Mutt also getting the fire element. Oh, wow. Yeah, we've had quite a few unusual deaths this tournament. We've had, I believe it was Ellie died to red dragons, which is very rare. I know someone else died to Tiamat 1. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. I know it was Tia 2. But he failed to heal before that, so he was kind of risky. Good morning, Rory. How's everybody doing? I believe it's good afternoon for you guys at this point. Alright, Double's the first one to take down Marilith, so we just use our Barbarians first to take her out as quickly. She's kind of a pushover with all the gear we have. Yeah, it's only 9 AM for me too. But I know some of these folks reside in across the ocean. Alright, Double's the first one out of Mount Gog, and is going to begin his spell shopping. Now that that's all set here, so he's going to stop first in Elfheim, pick up Haste and Blazar for his Black Mage, and if he happened to get enough experience on his Thief, he's also going to get Haste on his Thief. So let's see, it looks like he got enough experience. So he's going to do Haste on both. Not on the Warrior, put it on, make sure you put it on the Black Mage. Mutt also doing the same thing here. So Double's all set there, has to go up now to Melmond, where he's going to pick up Healara for the White Mage, Teleport for the Black Mage. Healara is going to serve as his primary means of healing, and will be otherwise used by the White Mage on every turn during the Chaos fight at the end of the run, and Teleport will be used to save us a bunch of backtracking. We specifically needed to get to level 19 on our Black Mage and class change in order to be able to use Teleport, purchase and use it. Yeah, I affectionately call these early morning matches Breakfast with Chaos. Although the ones that happen during the weekday, I am usually unable to keep a close eye on because I'm working. Alright, Double's healing on. Or Double's moving on here. He's into Onrak. Onrak holds the entrance to the Sunken Shrine. You have to talk to this little NPC over here and then watch her creepily just float away for no really explained reason. And then he's going to get into this barrel and head on down here. There's a short cutscene. Afterwards they can skip. So one big advantage of this version is there's a lot of these little short cutscenes that try to expand on what's actually going on, but many of them are actually skippable in this version. Or at least you can cut them short. So Double begins his trek through the Sunken Shrine, Mutt right on his heels here. So they have 2 objectives here in Sunken Shrine. They have to go first to the top floors to pick up the Rosetta Stone. This is a key item they're going to need to be able to proceed through Tiamat's dungeon later in the run. And then after they've picked up the Rosetta Stone, they're going to backtrack using the teleport they just picked up and head in the other direction to face Kraken, who is the 3rd of the 4 elemental fiends they need to confront in order to reach the end of the game against Chaos. Still very, very close right now. This can go either way. So they're both just trading encounters. Luckily for them, they're not getting too many unrunnable encounters here. The Sahagin group you saw on double side and you're seeing right now. This is an unrunnable group here. This is an unrunnable group on Mutt's side as well. These ghosts. So they're both getting an unrunnable here. So that's 2 of the 3 encounters they don't want to see here and that they cannot run from. The only other one they can't is water elementals by themselves. This ambush on Mutt's going to put him a few seconds behind now. Double has the Rosetta, so now he's going to begin backtracking here. He's likely to use a newer strategy we've been using now called the 4th floor light axe. So there are 2 light axes located in Sunken Shrine. And there's 2 places you can pick it up. We need it for grind. We need it for an equipment glitch here. So there's a newer strategy here where it's slightly fewer steps to go pick it up on the 4th floor rather than the 2nd floor just before Kraken's floor. And additionally, there's no random encounters that are trap tiles right in front of the chest if you go this route. The only risk is the encounter rate can be a little bit higher on this floor compared to the other floor where you can pick it up. But either way, they need this to be able to turn it into a piece of armor known as a survival vest and then put that on their characters. Is step counting a thing in this? No, step counting is not a thing in this version. Any encounters they happen to run into, they will have to deal with, either running away from it or killing it, or wiping and reloading. Double is checking his gear. He had the wrong... Didn't have the setup he was looking for on his Black Mage. Mutt instead is going for the 2nd floor light axe here. So he's actually taken a little bit of a lead while Double was stuck doing that menu here. But he did step on one of the wrong tiles. He wants to approach that chest that he picked up the light axe. Specifically, he wants to pick it up from the right side, or at least it's recommended that you pick it up from the right side, as there's no forced encounter if you pick it up from that specific side. The other 2 sides will force an encounter if you do that. It is a runnable encounter, but in general it takes time to get into and out of combat, so it's quicker to just avoid that and take the extra 2 steps. Double getting yet another group of Sahagins, committing some Sahagin genocide right now. Alright, hopefully these guys have set up their menus. I haven't been paying that much attention to how they have it set up. I think they have it set up correctly, though. Mutt is onto Kraken's floor, so Mutt is now in the lead at the moment. Double getting a water nog over here, not super dangerous by itself, although it can cast Thundara. He had another one on him. Double is 1 floor behind, but since he picked up the 4th floor light axe, he can just move straight to Kraken's floor here instead of detouring to pick up the chest. Mutt's getting a pretty good run here on Kraken's floor. This is a long floor, although there's a lower... It tends to be a low encounter rate on this floor. Double really just doesn't want to see the water elementals on this floor. The other unrunnables do not appear on this one. That's the first thing the Kraken flag. Kraken, yet again, is going to be a pushover on this particular version. The extreme defense of the gear that we have glitched onto our characters means that his hits might as well just tickle us. Yeah, Double's having a pretty terrible Sunken in terms of the RNG he's getting. So like many of the things you see on speed gaming here, this is a race between the 2 of them. There's a very heavy RNG component to this run that is out of their control, and that's the number of encounters they get, how often they get them, and like what enemies they run into. And that can decide races, especially at the higher end of the skill levels. Alright, Double's going to take on Kraken here. He should go down in 2 or 3 hits. It's like he just low-rolled a little bit, but that's not going to be a big deal. Mutt, meanwhile, is all set and is now heading to the waterfall cave. Double's all set with Kraken here, has to watch this little cutscene that plays out. So this was added in the GBA and the PSP versions. This shows some of the bonus content unlocking after you complete each of the shrines. Each of these is based on one of the elemental shrines. So in this case, you're going to watch the I believe it's a Life Spring Grotto open up here. This could be dangerous for Mutt on his side. This is a Pyralisk ambush. These guys can use their gaze to attack and kill. If they opt to use that, that could be very dangerous for him. It looks like most of them just opted to attack, and thankfully this is a runnable encounter, so he's going to try to get away from this. He should be able to get away with it. With the gear he has, he should be able to get away with from this. Okay, but that was an unfortunate death on his warrior here. Alright, Mutt's going to continue on here. So this waterfall cave here is just one long whitey cave, and these bats can get in the way. They're both seeing nightmares here. This is the same enemy as the one they encountered in the Citadel. Now that we have the additional agility from the survival vests, they tend to be easier to run from, so we opt to run from them here instead of fighting them. Double also getting a group of Pyralisks over here. Preemptive this time, that's good for him. So let's see where they are right now. Looks like they're both basically the same. Looks like Double took a quick lead here, but an encounter once again pushes Mutt right into the lead. So Mutt takes advantage. And they're going to reach this treasure room here at the end. The first tile, as soon as they walk in here, is going to be a forced encounter, another ambush for Double. So Double made up time, but these ambushes are just keeping him just slightly behind Mutt. Mutt was able to get away from that encounter, so he's got to pick up the ribbon here, and additionally he's got to talk to the robot to pick up the warp cube. Alright, they're both going to be doing a menu here, so they picked up a ribbon from the chest here, and they're going to be glitching this into a weapon known as the Gigant Axe, and then using that to glitch essentially multiple copies of the ribbon. So they'll be putting ribbons on each of their characters, I think, except for the Black Mage at this point. They want to use the agility and intelligence from the Lordly Robes and Survival Vests to make sure he's got enough oomph to kill what he needs for the unrunnable groups that we run into at this point. So Mutt ahead by just a few seconds getting out of Waterfall Cave. So they're both using the canoe to get back to their ship. And once again, Double just getting a little more unfortunate luck here. Both getting 2 encounters on the boat, a little unlucky. Mutt's is, thankfully for him, a preemptive. So he's going on. So right behind him. So since they have the Rosetta Stone now, they have to stop in Melmond and talk to Dr. Oon, who can translate that for them. Both of them getting the blue-haired guy in the way, and Dr. Oon at the last possible tile. That sucks here. So I have to talk to him so that he will translate the Rosetta Stone so that they can learn the Lufenian language and converse with the NPCs in Lufenia. If they don't do this and they walk over to Lufenia, they're going to realize that they can't talk to the NPCs or pick up the chime, and that's going to waste quite a bit of time because they're going to have to backtrack. They're all set here. They teleport out. Next destination is Lufenia, so they just have to make their way up here. Mutt seems to have been practicing, because I don't remember him going this fast before. Seems to have picked up on where he needs to go a little bit quicker than he did last time. Double getting an unrunnable formation here. So if we see Minotaur zombies, either by themselves or with trolls, they're unrunnable here. And they're going to have to stop and kill them. depending on the number that show up, they're either going to be attacking them or casting fire with their black mage to take care of them. Looks like Double takes a brief lead. Mutt's getting a runnable, thankfully for him. So Winter Wolves there. Not super dangerous unless they happen to ambush us. Yet another one of the enemies that have actually decided to race here. So I lost a run to Winter Wolves in Ice Cave, and that forced me to lose 2 minutes when I reloaded my save, and that cost me a race. So here they are in Lufenia here. Double's the first one in. Mutt's getting one more group of Minotaur zombies here. Ooh, this NPC walks in front of Double. So there's some narrow passages here in Lufenia, and we don't want to... Oh, this could be annoying. Let's see what happens on Muttski's side. So this is really what he didn't want to see here. They're not doing a lot of damage, but it adds up if there's enough wolves. So Double's all set. He's picked up the chime from the NPC that's in Lufenia here. Mutt, meanwhile, has made his way in. Just had to waste a bunch of time getting through that encounter. So Double's going to go back to his airship after this walk. So they have to park their ship way up here because it's the only landing spot in this entire world map section. Stop. Okay, Mutt's all set here. He's almost made his way back to the airship. And they're going to, take a quick, short flight over here to Mirage and land here so they can get into Mirage Tower. So they have two objectives. Now that they have the chime, they can get into the Mirage Tower, and they also have the warp cubes so that they can get into Flying Fortress behind it. So there's a combined 8 floors between these two locations that they have to get through. They don't need to stop to pick up any chests or anything. They can just beeline straight to Tiamat. Yeah, we're getting close to Warmax, so I hope you guys are getting hyped for that, just in case he happens to make an appearance this morning. We got a lot of races today, so there's a lot of chances for Warmax to show up today. I think we have 6 races on the schedule for speed gaming today, so I really hope you guys are going to see one. Okay, so here we go. Mutt's trekking his way over to enter the Mirage Tower. Double's onto the 2nd floor. And he's already through it. That's usually the worst of the 3 floors here in Mirage, as it's the longest one. Warmack is indeed always a possibility, although he's only a 1 in 64 appearance rate on one specific floor. He has made, to my knowledge, he's made 1 appearance in a tournament race already this year. Okay. Double's all set with Mirage Tower and fought the Blue Dragon and moved up here to the Flying Fortress, so he's got to go through the 5 floors here. Oh man, Mutt's getting another ambush here. So this isn't particularly dangerous to him now that he's got the ribbons on. Petrification's not likely to impact him, or even paralysis. But unfortunately, he's going to have to just sit here while each of these 9 enemies takes an attack. Alright, Double's on the 2nd floor here. So Mutt's got to work his way through the 2nd floor of Mirage. Meanwhile, Double's with the 2nd floor of Flying Fortress, now on the 3rd floor. So Double's opening a little bit of a lead, but again, it's still too early to be calling this race. This kind of RNG can flip on a dime, and Mutt can start catching up at any point. Alright, so Mutt's getting the Blue Dragon here. This is an unrunnable encounter, but this is also a forced encounter, so he has to take care of this one. You can see them as a rare encounter as well in Mirage. And additionally, they are not there. Double's now on the 4th floor. It's a little bit of a maze for newer players that aren't familiar with it. The map just kind of wraps around endlessly in any direction you walk. You just have to go 2 corridors horizontally and then 2 corridors vertically in either direction to get from the start to the finish. Double taking a quick heal at the start of the final floor. So here's Warmech's floor and Tiamat's floor. We're hoping to see a Warmech here. We'll see him. Not yet. Mutt is only 1 floor behind now. Double makes it to Tiamat, so he may still very well get a Warmech after the fight. He didn't see one before. There's still a chance of him coming afterwards. And there's still a chance for Mutt to get it as well. So once again, Tiamat, not particularly dangerous here, although he may use a Thunderbolt move. He opts not to use it in this fight, which means this is going to be a very quick fight for Double. If he uses the Thunderbolt, it's very likely dead Black Mage. Alright, so Mutt's onto the final floor. Let's see if he happens to see a Warmech. Oh, he gets an encounter on the very last hop before he runs into Tiamat, but otherwise had a great run that in fire. I hope for Mutt's sake that he healed. If he didn't heal, that can open the door for Tiamat to wipe them if they get really unlucky. His health looks pretty good, actually, so he's probably okay. I'm going to start looking at their HP total. So you got 232 max on the Thief and 190 on the Black Mage. It's not great, but it's not terrible at all at this point for Mutt. But right as it stands right now, these characters are both going to probably need to have a Giant's Tonic used on them in the final fight against Chaos, because those values are a little bit lower than he'd like normally. Double's all set here with Flying Fortress, and that was the final Fiend we needed to be able to reach the final dungeon of the run, so Double's basically going to head straight there. Meanwhile, Mutt's about a minute behind and has to watch this little cutscene play out, and then he can start trying to catch up. He's going to have to remember to res that Black Mage that died. You want as many people alive and as good health as they can be before this dungeon starts. We're also going to see if these guys take a save at the start of this dungeon here, as they do not want to wipe here. And if they do wipe, they want to be able to recover and continue on. Okay, Double's all set here. So there's a brief cutscene that plays when you re-enter the Chaos Shrine after you've defeated all 4 of the Fiends. This shows the opening of the PSP exclusive bonus dungeon known as the Labyrinth of Time, which is where many of these glitch items actually come from. But we're unfortunately not going to be seeing the Labyrinth itself in this run. It's not a part of this category otherwise. Double is looking for ethers, I think. Or no, he's just reorganizing it. His inventory and ethering. Okay. So Double, meanwhile, or Mutt, meanwhile, is flying over to the shrine. Alright, so Double begins the final dungeon. Yeah, no Warmech, but remember, there's another match coming up between these 2 guys, so there's another 2 chances right there. And if that's not good enough, we've got 4 more matches coming up later today on Speed Gaming. So there's plenty of chances for Warmech to make an appearance here. So Double gets through the first and second floors with no problem. But he's getting a green dragon group here. They're vulnerable to Blizzard. They're vulnerable to ice spells, so he's going to use Blizzard with his Black Mage. They don't want to see this because this is unrunnable, and they have to stop and kill this if they see him. Alright, here we go. Mutt's going to start his descent as well. 2 floors behind right now. Double getting 9 Black Knights. That's a really annoying ambush if you see it as an ambush, but otherwise it's pretty harmless. Mutt getting a Purple Worm, which is unrunnable. Double getting another pack of Green Dragons here. Double's got 300 HP on his Mage, though, or on his Thief, so he's probably going to not need to use a tonic on them, but his Black Mage is a little low on HP, so they're both probably going to have to use tonics as it stands right now. Double steps onto the Guardian of the 3rd floor, the Death Eye. Oh, they're both in the Death Eye fight. They caught up, so this is once again a tied match. Oh, Mutt getting an unlucky encounter right at the end, and it's a Green Dragon. That sucks. Yeah, there might be something off about Double's setup with his gear. I think he's supposed to have 2 survivals and 2 lordlies on his black mage. But if I'm not mistaken, he might have 3 lordlies on. Double getting this group here. Vice gets Winterwolf. This is unrunnable on this floor. That's a long encounter though, and it looks like they're literally tied. Look at that sink. Okay, Double getting another group here on Dragon Zombies. Mutt, meanwhile, had a very, very clean return floor on 2F. Getting Chimera, so Mutt is once again in the lead here, but they're both within a screen of each other, so this is very close. Mutt really doesn't want to see Blaze from these Chimeras, though, because this wastes a ton of time for animations. Double getting his patented white dragons. We affectionately call them double dragons, as they've wiped many of his runs. Mutt also getting the group, and he's... I'm not sure what he's doing. It looks like he wants to Judgment Staff it. Oh, he wants to just be careful in case. He doesn't want to wipe here. They are runnable here. Oh, because he's maybe a little low health, or he thinks he's a little dangerous, so he's going to opt to make sure this group is dead instead of trying to run away and successfully. Double getting Earth Medusas here, so that's going to cost Mutt a little time, unfortunately. I mean, I never usually stop and fight white dragons here if I see them. I usually run away from them, or I cast Fire if I'm really that worried about it. I guess if Thundara does enough damage, though, that's definitely the preferred method, because it has a slightly faster animation. Double getting Earth Elementals here. This is unrunnable. Luckily getting Earth Medusas, but it's not an ambush. No, there's still a couple floors to go. Double is slightly ahead. He's just before the Lich refind here. So we're on the refind floors now. This is the first of the 4 that we'll be doing. Double getting one last group of Earth Elementals. Or, I'm sorry, Mutt's getting that. Double is into the Lich fight and is trying to one-round this if possible. That's a flare. That's going to probably be a dead. If nothing else, Black Mage. This Thief might be okay. Yeah, okay, so Double's going to be okay. He's going to survive the flare. So it's ideally they want to either save or heal before that fight in case Lich opts to use a flare. They don't really want to see flare because it's a long animation and does a lot of damage. Mutt's going to enter the fight too. His characters look to be pretty healthy though, so he should be okay as well on this fight. Double's going to move on to the second floor. This is Marilith's floor. One more hit should do it for Mutt. Okay, he's all set here. So he's just slightly behind Double. Moves on to the next floor here, so now they're both on the same floor. Double's about to get to Marilith right at the end here. Once again, she's kind of a pushover in this one. We don't have to do anything other than attack her 3 or 4 times. If we're unlucky, this might go 3 rounds of attacks, depending on damage rolls. Double's kind of wasting a little bit of time attacking with his mages, although he wants to just basically guarantee that these mages can add a little extra damage to try to keep this, try to minimize the number of rounds that's going on. Double's all set. Mutt seeing fire lizards. You guys might know them as Agamas from the NES version. Double onto the 3rd floor. So this is probably the make or break floor in terms of encounters. So they don't want to see water elementals, which is what Double immediately got here. So if they see these, they have to stop and kill them, and if there's enough of them, it can kind of flip a race either way. Ooh, an ambush for Double here. 8 enemies is not what he wants to see, because that just slows him down. They're not dangerous here, though, otherwise. So this gives Mutt a chance to catch up. Mutt getting an unrunnable water elemental, so they're going to take him out with Blizzara. In this case, as they're not vulnerable to thunder, they are vulnerable to ice spells. So once again, double seeing water elementals here. Water elemental is the only unrunnable on this floor, so everything else should be runnable. They can see they can also see water elemental and water naga combo. That is actually runnable. So once again, the RNG plays a factor, and Mutt is the first one into Kraken and is leapfrogged double. Thundara from Kraken, though, is a little bit longer than he wanted to see. But Mutt is the first one to finish Kraken. Kraken, otherwise not dangerous except for the Thundara. And both of them get Thundara here. Alright, Mutt onto Tiamat's floor. This is the shortest floor. Heals up before the fight, which is a wise move just in case. Alright, Mutt's just going to try to push through this without using haste. These guys can also opt to use haste here, as Tiamat has 5,500 HP and they have to chew through all that to get out of here. Thunderbolt's going to cost Mutt his Black Mage immediately here. Double getting one more group of water elementals that he's going to have to struggle through. Mutt getting poison gas, so now he's in a little bit of danger here. As Tiamat's opting to use some of his more dangerous spells here. But he's getting there. There it is. Okay, so Mutt's all set with Tiamat and just has to get off this floor, and then after that there's no more random encounters, and all he has left is the final chaos fight. Alright, Mutt is all set. He's on the final floor with Chaos. He's going to have to make sure he's got his party set up correctly for this fight. So specifically, he wants to make sure his party's healed up, ethered up, and then he wants to change the gear on his Black Mage. He wants to put a Barbarian Sword on his Black Mage, because the Black Mage will be dealing combat damage after he's done casting haste spells on our characters, and additionally we want to put a ribbon on there so he can survive some of the more deadly attacks from there. And then additionally they want to put the Sage's Staff and make sure if there's any other agility gear on the White Mage that it's removed. The reason for this is they want the White Mage to be on healing duty, and they want him to predictably cast healing as the last action every combat round. So the other characters have bonus agility gear on. The White Mage has all of her agility gear removed, so that she's the most likely to act last in the combat order. So Double's now doing his setup as well for the same fight. Mutt additionally took a safety save here, so that gives him a recovery option in case something goes wrong here. His items are his HP totals are a little bit low here, so he's probably going to use Giant's Tonics. Let's see what he does here. If he's going to go for it or not. He's just going to go for one tonic on the Black Mage. We'll see if that plays a factor or not. And meanwhile, he's going to be hasting with the Black Mage, the Thief, the Warrior, and the Black Mage in sequence over the first 3 turns. White Mage is exclusively going to be healing for this fight. And then after the opening round where they use tonics, the melee characters will just be attacking from this point on. Alright, Double's just behind at this point. The advantage is Muttski's, but the animation times and the choice of attacks by Chaos could still impact this race right now. They don't really want to see the longest animations, including Blaze, Tsunami, Cyclone, from Chaos, as they just waste a ton of animation time and do a lot of damage. Muttski looks to be in pretty good shape so far here, but Mutt has gotten Blaze and Tsunami now, so that could be a factor. Their party setups look pretty good though. Okay. Mutt is in hold X to win mode at this point. He doesn't need to do anything else. He can just hold X to repeat all of his commands. Once again, he's getting another special attack, Cyclone. This is really hurting his time. Double has been getting much, much more fortunate choices of attacks. Ooh, but a Black Mage dead instantly. That will slow down his DPS a little bit. This is going to be really close. Oh, double sneaks through. Oh my god. Oh, I can't believe he pulled that out. That's ridiculous. What a steal. What a complete steal that was. Honestly, I mean, Chaos's choice of attacks is what really decided that race at the very end there, because Chaos did all three of the very long attacks, and I did not see him do any of those on double side. That is now the second closest race in our tournament, second closest finish we've had in this tournament. So we'll see. I don't know if anybody's available to give you guys... What are we doing here for... I don't know if we're going to do commentary for this race necessarily. We may hold off until after the next race, because these guys are going to do another race after this one. That was close, and then we can talk about that at the end. Oh yeah, we got to mark these guys. So... Just a second, I want to chat with these guys. Yeah, the second race we had, the second race we ever had in this tournament this year, had a 3-second finish. All right, so these guys are going to be wrapping this up. We'll be doing commentary after their second race, which will be coming up in a few seconds. We'll be doing a couple minutes to set that up, and then we'll get going.